Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Zone Delium server. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to pick right up where we left off yesterday and start knocking out some of these advantages. First, let's get back home. Alright, let's bust out our atlas and get to mapping our home. If we right click with the atlas, we'll bring up this so we can zoom in and out. Way over here, that's the shop that we were just at. Long ways off. You can use the atlas for a lot of handy things. For instance, adding markers for different things. The thing I use this for the most is placing down markers for mineral deposits that I find while out exploring other people's bases or things of that nature. You can delete the markers, hide the markers. I never use the export image, don't really know how to. And then this button here will recenter you in the map. Easy enough. Alrighty. So, we've got our farmland and our atlas. I still haven't found a fish. Let's keep going. Here we go. This is getting Strainuous. This here is an awesome mod that I use all throughout the ages. It'll help us gather resources passively. But before we get started with that, as you may have noticed, there's a restart happening pretty soon. This way, AFKers will get knocked off the server and aren't going to be loading chunks that are causing lag. And as well, it's just helping to keep the server maintained so it doesn't interfere with anyone's play. So, we'll be back in a few minutes once the server's done restarting. Alright, and we're back. So then, where did we leave off? Alright, we're going for the strainers. So, these guys utilize sticks and string. Now, if you're searching for a specific item in JEI, it's easy to just type in the base word of what it is you're looking for. But if you're looking for anything related to that mod, for instance, you'll notice under the description for this one, you see water strainer in blue. That's the mod itself. So we're going to put an @ sign and then water strainer. This shows us everything related to the mod. Now this thing right here, the garden trowel, is actually a really handy shovel for early ages. It's about the equivalent of an iron shovel, and you'll get these little worms here that you can use as bait for catching fish and other types of things using a very specific strainer. Now then, these strainers are quite simple. You build this bad boy here, and you plunk her in the water. Then, you place a strainer type on top of it. The type of strainer you use determines what blocks or items you get out of it. For instance, the survivalist one, if we hold shift, gives us sticks, stones, clay, and various types of planks. Whereas the dense strainer will give us sand, dirt, gravel, sugarcane, shark teeth, and ink sacs. I typically use a lot more of this strainer than the other one. But clay is very handy later on. So then, let's start off with getting the basics of what we need. Now if I need to remember these, I can place them over here. Make sure I'm not in the typing area. By pressing the A button, and it'll pin it for future reference. Might as well pin this and that at the same time. Now, if I remove that, we've still got the things we've pinned. So then, to create the strainer base, we're going to need a wooden topper. Oh, looks like we need to get those knocked out first. So, that's along our basic path to the next stage anyway. So let's start with the basic wooden hopper. Most basic wooden hoppers are planks with a caveman chest. I'm currently using all of my chests at the moment, so I'll have to craft some fresh ones. And I got more oak than anything else. And we're going to need some stones to go with it. Like so. Grab our crafting rock. Alright. And now, just like I was crafting a regular hopper, like so. And there we go. Our wooden hopper. Easy enough. But we're going to need the wooden hopper Mark II. This thing is going to require bark and a cobweb. Cobweb is easy enough. That's sticks and string. I've been keeping in mind to harvest all the string I can along my journeys in preparation. Truly, very little that you pick up in this mod pack is not used for something. Even the rotten flesh from our zombies is going to be very valuable later on. So really, keep everything. There we go, cobweb. Now for the bark. I haven't been using much in the way of planks, so I haven't really bothered stripping any of the wood that I have. But this bark is going to be very, very valuable later on. To get the bark, we simply place this into our crafting window and grab our flint work blade. And that will give us oak bark. Might as well take all of that. There we go. Now then, like so. Get our hopper and our cobweb. And there we are. Supersize it. Now then, the way these work. The basic wooden hopper will only have a single inventory slot that holds a single item, so it won't do very much in the way of pushing and pulling. However, this hopper works more like a standardized hopper, as in it has 4 slots that can hold up to a stack each. However, it has no interface to it, so you can't pull out of it once there's stuff in there. You have to break it. But as far as hopper goes, these are pretty cheap and pretty effective for what you want to do in the early ages. Now then, that's strainer we were talking about. Chest at the bottom, hopper in the middle. Here we are. Oh, we need another chest because I used it for the hopper. Never-ending cycle. Like so. Grab my stones. I find that creating things like this is a handy way of getting rid of just random wood types that I'm not using anymore. Alright. Couple of these. Do I have any more in the way of planks? Here we go. Like so. And some sticks. There we go. We have our strainer. Now we need to make our net for it. So, first we have to make the basic net. This is just 3 string. Then, we place that net and surrounded by sticks, and that gives us the strainer. So, start with 3 of these. And then surround it with sticks. Awesome. I get used to that speed boost. Oof, and jump height. Oh, another handy function of these boots is they actually make you immune to fall damage. That wasn't a great demonstration. Whee! Now, allow me to make an amendment to that one. They're supposed to make you immune to fall damage. I have died many times because they didn't. But it's fairly rare, so you can kinda trust it. And this is where I've been getting all of my ink sacs from. And look, we've got fishies. Let me go get that spear and we can knock out that one advancement we missed. Almost. Pretty tough for a little fish. There we go. Spearfishing. Sweet. Now where are we? Ah, yes. Get our strainer out. Now, strainers... I'm going to put this one here. Strainers have their whole little... a whole mechanic system all of their own. They gain bonuses based on how many strainers are around them, flowing water, biome type, things like that. And, well, yeah, we could min-max it. I honestly never bother to. So I'm just going to plop mine down over here. These need to be 2 blocks down. You'll see why in a second. Pop this here. You see it's got some sticks to come up. This is a 2-block tall item. We're going to place our net by right-clicking it right into there. And now our strainer's all set up. It'll slowly collect items for us. It kind of acts as a hopper in the way that anything that falls on top of it gets sucked inside of it. It has its own little inventory, about the size of a chest. Over in here, you can see a slot for worms. And over here is bait pot. These are only used with the strainer that requires sugarcane to make. Alright. Now that we've got that knocked out, this asked for a dense survivalist strainer. Well, no problem. I was going to make one of those anyway. So, since that is a bit of a long-winded crafting process, I'm going to spare you and just cut back when I've got ourselves another strainer crafted up. Alrighty. So I've got almost the crafting out of the way. Last thing left to do is create our last net. So then, the dense survivalist strainer that we're going to be making is much similar to the first one, where it's instead 6 pieces of string in that kind of formation. This is going to give you 2 of these dense nets. I already made a few, and so the advancement has already popped for me. There we go. And because these come in sets of 2, I tend to focus my number of strainers around that number. Whereas the simple net only makes 1. So ooh, no! Oh. Well, at least he got into the water before he blew up, so my strainers should be safe. Alrighty. Well, since we don't have a bed, we died and went back to spawn. At least we have a home set. / home. Now you notice in my inventory, I've got a little skull and a key. The skull is a compass that points to where we died. And the key is there to help us get our stuff back. Sevtech has a graves mod installed. So, when we die, we simply leave a grave behind. We can either shift on it to get our stuff back, or use the key. Alright. Now then, don't need this anymore. If you need to get rid of trash items, you can simply pick them up, Moving over to the trash can. Press Shift to open the trash can, and just click them in there. If you've got a lot of things you need to get rid of, for instance, your inventory is full of cobblestone that you don't want, simply type /trash. This will open up a trash bin menu. You can put all the stuff you need in here, and once you close it, they're gone. So don't go throwing stuff on the server or on the floor, because the server doesn't like that. All right. Get rid of this. And there we go. Where did you end up? There you are. Last one. Like so. Then we take our nets, pop them in. Now, while I was busy crafting that stuff, let's see what our first trainer's got for us. Already pumping out the clay, the sticks, other various things. That doesn't belong there. And of course, you see its durability is going down. For every item it gets, it's going to lose a little bit, but it's easy to keep track of, and they're cheap to replace. At higher ages, you can create ones out of iron, which have quite a few uses, and then further on, obsidian. So these things are useful all throughout your time in the Sevtech server. Alright, what next? Well, let's see. Next on our list, no buckets, use a fluid bladder to craft with. We're quite a ways away from being able to craft buckets and move water around. So instead, we're going to have to use a fluid bladder. Some brown dye, some twine, and an ink sac. Alrighty. Now I've got plenty of ink sacs. Grab one of these. Brown dye, though, I don't have an abundance of. However, we do have a grindstone, so we can grind ourselves up some flour to get brown dye. I do believe that this flour will give brown dye. I don't have spare bone meal on me at the moment, so I'm going to have to go out and look for some more. I know there's some, there we go, in the area. Too easy. Oop. Now let's double check to make sure I was right. Hit uses. Go with my grindstone. Oh, no, I was wrong. It was green dye. Bummer. Alright, well, let's just click on the brown dye and see what we can grind up to get it. These. I have some of those. You can also use cocoa powder. Brown mushrooms. Alright, there are a few of those in the area. Those are fairly easy to find because they glow. For instance, here's some. Oh, there's some more. Oh wait, these are probably going to be orange. Oh wait. Yeah, we got ourselves. That ought to be just enough. So fast. Couldn't even react to me. Alright. Plop that in there. Get to grinding it up. I've got some Venus flytrap flowers around the edge of my base, and that's probably what that guy's running into. Keeps them from building up too much. Alright, next one. And there we go, our brown dyes. Alright. So, dyes over here. Grab this and some plant twine. Like so. And the fluid bladder is done. Now you notice I already got an achievement for crafting leather. This is because I ended up getting some for free from the bacon party from 50 votes being done on the server. That's right there. Got 2 of them. But we're going to need a bunch more. That's what all of this hide over here is for. Alright. So, next up, we'll work our way down the next side. Storage upgrades. This is going to require us to find a darklands biome, so we can make those. And then we've got primal core barrels. And the barrels should be easy enough. There's a slab and some planks. And the lids are also just more slabs. These are portable water storage. They hold up to 8 buckets of water. And once you plop the lid on them, you can pick them back up. Alright. First, let's start off with that primal core chest. I'm going to grab our nature's compass. And let's go find ourselves a darklands biome. I know it's not too far off in this direction, if memory serves. Which, to be honest, it often doesn't. My memory is terrible. But the boots are definitely helping make this a much faster process. The only downside is I'm going to chunk through my hunger pretty quickly. Alright, if it's not over that hill, I'm just going to cut to when I actually get to it. Oh look, it's right over this hill. This is the Darklands. So, I honestly never need this again. Wait. I'm going to hit uses for it, but nothing's coming up. So yeah, I'm getting rid of it. Storage price is at a premium these days. One of my favorite features about this mod pack, flowing rivers. Aesthetically, they're so nice to look at. One of those things I wish vanilla had. Alrighty. We need to get ourselves some of this wood type over here. Looks like people have already been to this particular one. But not a problem, they left plenty for us. This stuff right here, this is dark stone. It's useful to grab some of this if you find it readily available, because you have uses for it later on. Alright, I got myself my stone axe. I'm going to chop me down some trees. I'll be back once we have a decent amount of wood that we can take home with us. Alrighty. That'll give us plenty of wood to work with. And we got ourselves a handful of saplings too. These saplings actually sell for a decent amount on the server shop. So if you're looking... Oh, I missed one. Like I said, if you're looking to make some quick cash, these saplings will hook you up. I do hate floating logs. Let's see if my /top command is off cooldown yet. Nope. Well, looks like we're pillaring, because I cannot tolerate that. There we go. Somebody else has been by here chopping down a bunch of the trunks, which, no one likes floating trees, guys. Come on. Anyway, where's the sun? We're still a little ways from going down. The darklands biome, aesthetically, is really interesting. The dark sky, the dark grass, the dark stone. Hello, chicken. I wonder if there's a village around here. Oh, this is actually a pretty big biome. Yep, extends for quite a bit. You can occasionally find abyssal zombie spawners in these areas. But all the abyssal stuff is things we'll get into at a later time. But yeah, this is a pretty big darklands biome. Alright, well, I think it's about time we got headed home. But not to worry, we'll be back before long. Okie doke. Now the primal core chests. This guy. Regular chest and some dark oak logs. Easy enough. Then we can upgrade those to the advanced chest with just a bit of bark. Now these are actually debatably better than these chests here. For one, they're far more of a pain in the butt to craft, but they do have a more traditional UI of a chest, which, whether or not you like that kind of thing, is totally up to you. But these hold 12. The first chest we're going to make, I believe, holds 9, and then of course the advanced one I think holds 12. Anyway, I think that's something we're going to knock out in our next episode. But for now, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you'll join me again for the next episode. Until then, goodbye for now.